Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the previous day and welcome to day 2 of our conference. Today we will continue with even more interesting topics and discussions. First, our topic is building recruitment model. In modern football, recruitment is no longer just about finding talent. The club that consistently outperform the market are those that build system, combining scouting, data, methodology, and decision-making into one coherent process. Our next speaker is helping shape exactly that approach, bringing together football expertise and analytics to build modern recruitment models. Please welcome to the stage Ricardo Marulli.
Thank you for being here. It's good to see you guys, and also thank you to Edward and the wonderful World Deal Done Serbia organization for having me. It's a pleasure, it's an honor, so thank you once again. As you can see, today's presentation, we will deal about how to build a recruitment model. Of course, I don't think anybody cares about our recruitment model, but the aim of this presentation is to give you something. Is to give you something to live with. We want to give you tips about how you can adapt what we do to your organization. No matter if you run an agency, no matter if you run a club, no matter if you have an individual academy, something like that, we want to give you something. So without further ado, I would like to start. This will be what we will touch down today. First of all will be our, let's say, vision, mission, and values. Likewise, every company should start with this philosophy, with something to start with. So we used to call this from local to global. Then we will go through, let's say, the core of this presentation. So what's our recruitment strategy, what we do in Venezia, and so on. And then, last but not least, something that, with me coming from the academy, is something that we are really proud of and it truly means a lot to me. It's the Academy at the Transition Protocol, because at the end of the day, you gotta find a way, and we're gonna find solution to make a bridge between the first team and your academy. So the Transition Protocol is something very, very important for us. So very, very quick sporting recent history. Venezia has suffered a lot. Especially over the last 20 years. We went bankrupt twice, so it was hard to recover from those struggles. But we've been lucky to have a new owners that just came 7 years ago, and in the last 7 years we achieved very, very good results, we think. The last promotion that we just got 1 month ago was a huge achievement, of course, for us, and right now we are in a good position to keep going. So here is the sporting area vision, as we just said. Our focus, our pillars that we set the fundamentals. It's 5 main pillars, I will say. The first one is the club, but it could all be also put it in club and city, because it's something that, it's a link that we think it's very, very important to create a link between the club and the city. For probably the few who doesn't know, the city of Venice is a unique one. It's built on water, no cars on it. So for the ones who didn't have the chance to visit it, come visit us, because it's amazing. And we believe that a strong link between the city and the club is crucial. It's crucial because we have probably one of the most beautiful city in the world. We have passionate fans, and we want to give something back to the city, to the city that, as I just said, has suffered a lot. And first division football is what we want. So the link between the city and the club is compulsory to be a strong one. Then the roster. This is very, very important. This is something that we are very proud of it. Once the sport director came 5 seasons ago, we decided to have this vision, to have this strict rules to build our teams with 80% players owned by the club. we do not make any loan. Like we rarely complete loan deals because we want to have players who really embrace the Venice culture. We want people who are proud of wearing our shirts, who are proud to live in Venice, who are proud to represent a unique city, as I just said. So this is a strict rules that we follow each year while building our rosters. It's to have an 80% team built of own players. Then another pillar is the academy. It's something that, of course, requires time, guys. The academy is something tough to build, especially from a club that barely has an academy 7 years ago. So we are trying to build something bigger, and we always try to set standards, to set goals. Our main goals for the academy is in a 5-year span, in the next 5 years, to have at least 20% of the roster composed by team developed players. It's tough because out of 5 is huge, but with the resource that we have been given from the owners, we think that we can do something about it. And hopefully, in a 7-year span, and this is huge because 1 out of 3 is huge, at 30% of squad roster. Then our home. This is a new project, and this is something that it's crazy, honestly, because probably guys, you know that in Italy, with bureaucracy and stuff, it's so tough to have own stadiums owned by the club. Right now in Italy, there are just 4 clubs in the first division that own their own stadium. All the others have stadium owned by the municipalities, so it's very tough to have it. But luckily enough, we've been able to develop our own project. So we will open up our own stadium in 2028, and this is something huge for us because we will have the chance to manage by our own. You know, this is something huge, and not just the stadium. We believe in infrastructures. We believe in building something that will stay after this management, after this ownership. So the Cavenezia infrastructure development is something key for us. It's our training facility, has been inaugurated in 2021. We spent 10 million euro on it, and we developed ourselves a beautiful headquarters with six different pitches, gym, locker rooms, trainings. Everybody's there, offices are there. So it's something that it's called Cavenezia because Ca in the Venetian traditional language it means home. So Cavenezia, home of Venezia. And again, last but not least, it's our aim. It's what drives us. It's what leads us, and it's our main goal to become a stable presence in first division football. This is something that it's compulsory to achieve in the following years. In the last one, we've been a little bit of yo-yo team. You know what I mean? Like going up and then next season going down. It's been tough, but right now with the process that is going on and with all the resources that, as I said, we have been given, we think that we can become a stable presence. Here is our, let's say, sporting philosophy. Again, this is what drives us out of the field and on the field. Again, own players, it's compulsory. We gotta have players that wants to play for Venezia and wants to sign long-term deals with the club. So this is compulsory to have. The technical leadership, not just the technical stuff, but the management must be built by excellence. This is the key word that we always use. So from the sport director to the last key manager, everybody has to be excellent because this is our standard and this is what we want to do. And then on the field, we consider ourselves a very modern football teams in terms of playing style. We want to play aggressive. We want to play fast. We want to dominate the possession. We want to impose our will over opponents, and in order to do that, we have to be again very strict in what we do. We cannot like freestyle or something like that. Here we move to the second chapter, I will say, our recruitment strategies. This is key, guys. Like this is all about. Like budgeting, in order to be sustainable, budgeting is something that you cannot miss. Like, no matter how your team is built, no matter how your ownership is, no matter how many funds you have, budgeting is always something that you cannot miss. Because at the end of the day, you gotta impose yourself rules, you must impose yourself guidelines, you must impose yourself numbers, and you cannot miss. So first of all, first thing that we do every season, once we gather, beginning talking about the new season, is budgeting. What we can do, how we can do it. Then squad composition. You remember the last slide in which we talk about what we want to do, out of possession, in possession. It's our philosophy. We gotta fit the players that we want, must fit our philosophy. We cannot miss on that. Many times we've been offered super talented players that didn't fit our system. We didn't get it. We didn't get it because we must trust our system, and we must, let's say, follow our system. We cannot improvise. And then this is something very, very cool, we think, and we implemented 3 years ago these 4 categories with which we build our roster. And you can see that we have divided the 26 players that are part of our teams in 4 categories, and we divided into different percentages. And we will talk about it more deeply later. Then the process. In order to, again, properly recruit, you must give yourself a process, and a very strict one. So this is nothing incredible. We are not sending rockets to the moon or something like that, but this is something that we always do. Like, we cannot, again, improvise, we cannot like freestyle. So first of all, it's always video scouting. We do have a scouting department which is elite in our opinion, and we scout worldwide, especially with Serie A football. We can also sign players from non-European Union, so the scouting is made worldwide. Right after is always the live scouting part. We like to work on target, so we do not watch games just for watching, but we do watch games live just to follow our targets. So it happens that we made 8 hours drive just to watch one players and come back. Tough. And then data screening. It's important to have it. It's future, it's present, and then future. It's something that we are trying to develop because we just signed this partnership with Skill Corner, which is a data provider, very, very important for us. And this helps us mitigate the risk, because at the end of the day, you are coming to your owners asking for 5 million, 6 million, 7 million, and they're going to ask you, okay, but why? And data, let's say, help you convince them, help you mitigate the risk in that sense. And once everything is set, we always gather between us, and we always talk about what we should do. Organize the negotiation phase and set up everything to properly recruit the targets and the players that we want. Following on this, we just touched on the 4 Venezia FC categories. As I said, we like to divide our roster into 4 categories. The first one is young potential player. I don't know who I discussed with in yesterday probably. The keyword is patient. Like, you must be patient. Like, especially when you recruit from abroad, you must give those kids time to adapt, time to understand where they are, time to understand what the coach is asking them. So these are players that they are very, very talented because you have done your job, but at the same time you cannot ask them to perform day one. So 6-12 months is compulsory to have them. And this is linked to the fact that we own the player. We do not make loans because in that case we wouldn't have enough time to wait on them. Instead, having long-term contracts, 5 years long-term contract, it gives us also time and in this case patience. Then we have the high potential player. Those are players that we think that we think they might immediately impact the game. Those are players that we think that, okay, they are very, very good players right now, but they can become assets for a club in the future. So it's a win-win situation. Of course, those are the players that might cost you a little bit much in terms of funds, but they immediately become key players and can become huge assets for a club. Then we have the performance players. Those are the players that it's your core, you know. Those are the players who have, let's say, who are more experienced, who already have a proven history of playing the division that you are playing, are players that can, let's say, set up the standards for the others, that can help the others adapt. So this is the core of your roster. Might not be potential revenues gainer, but at this potential streams, but at this potential case stream, but at the same time, there are players that, you know, they have a decent value and they are crucial for the success of your team. And then last but not least, the next potential player. Those are the youngsters. Hopefully in the following years, those names will be the high potential player or the performance players, and hopefully all of them will come out of our academy. And those are the players who are not ready yet to perform at your level. These players won't perform in first division football right now, but in the future, given them time, given them proper development, they can become important assets for your club. Here's the academy thing. I know it's a lot of things, guys, but again, it's exactly the same that we are talking about since the beginning of this presentation. It's compulsory to have a proficient academy, to have a successful academy, because at the end of the day, you cannot base the success of your project, the success of your idea, just on the recruitment. It's just on the market, because the market it's betting on something, while the academy is something that you can create of it, that can you develop. So infrastructure, as we said, it's crucial. You cannot build something out of nothing, and this is why infrastructure is so important for us. We've been let's say, lucky enough to receive funds for the academy. Our owners believe in academy a lot, so we think that investing in the academy will get something in the future. We'll get us something in the future. Methodology is something that it's too important to have it, because as we always say, it's a top-down approach. You know, you cannot just leave the academy by their own. You gotta have a top-down approach from the first team to set standards, to set, let's say, guidelines, and to transit into the academy until the very youngest team. And the staff is something tough, because especially in Italy, but worldwide, it's tough to have coaches who really wants to coach in the academy. Every coach wants to be the next Mourinho or to be the next Ancelotti. So finding the right coaches, finding the right people who really wants to work in the academy, that really wants to develop young players, is not easy at all. But if you find it, it's top-notch. Then it's something more, I will say, we go into particular things, the coordination and performance activities. We did create a performance department in which we invest a lot. We do have a sports science department in which we invest a lot. It's something that you can develop through years. It's not something that you can just click and create, but those are tools that really helps you elevate your standards at level. High skill sports management is the same thing from a governance perspective. So it gives our managers and our sports director, our head of academy director, and so on, the tools and the abilities to properly manage the academy. Scouting, we are in Veneto, which is probably one of the most talented regions in Italy. So this is why we think that the academy might be a successful one in the future, because the talent pool is huge. And And then last but not least, the most important thing in my opinion is to focusing on the cultural aspect. Like at the end of the day, not all the players that are in your academy will become football players. So okay, you won't become a football player, but you must become a human being, a serious human being in this society. And in order to do that, we gotta give you the instruments to become it. Here's the academy recruitment model. It's slightly different from what we do in the first team. Once we have received the reports from our scouting department from the academy, we have developed this, let's say, small algorithm in which we set up the preferred occupation zone of every player, because we divide the field into 4 zones: center, intern, wides, and forwards. We have these 6 categories, these 6 skills that we evaluate the players with. So each player that is about to be recruited into our academy pass through this algorithm, and each zone has its own weights and its own strengths. So the grade that you have been given will be multiplied by the ranks that we have given, and we will receive the final score, in which it will show, let's say, what are the main skill of this player, if he's good enough to be part of our academy, if he's not. So it's something that it might sound a little bit too much, but we think that it's helping us a lot in the last few years. Then is the final evaluation. Once we have completed this algorithm process, we do put a final evaluation on the player. We divide it into 3 categories: fall, up, and UFC. Fall is to follow, so it's a player that, given the score, given the scouting reports, it's a player that is not ready yet to be part of our academy, but we will keep following him because we think that he has talent. So we decide to schedule visit in order to evaluate him. Up, it means opportunity. It's a player that, okay, it might not be a standout in our academy, but we think it's good enough to become part of it, and so we decide to pursue him. And then UFC, Venezia Football Club. It's a player that elevates our standard. It's a player that we must go, and we must be quick in order to get him. And this, again, it's all about giving you guidelines. It's all about building something that you can follow, because it's very, very important to have like rules in order to follow it and in order to be successful while following it. And then there is, let's say, our transition protocol. Our transition protocol has been developed over the last 3 years. It's not perfect. It's always a work in progress. It's always something that we are trying to modify, to upgrade, and to make it better. And we have decided to start from Empoli as our benchmark, because Empoli has shown over the last years to be probably one of the best teams in order to make and to produce football players from the academy to the first team. So why Empoli? Because it's something that we can compete with. It wouldn't be too easy to say Paris Saint-Germain or Manchester City, but with different funds. So we said, okay, Empoli is the right choice, because it's not economic power, but again, it's sustainability. Then the principle is exactly what we have discussed so far. It's the methodology. It's to find a way to create a bridge between the academy and the first team. And again, all the things that you can read is something that we believe will help our academy players to make that step, which is so tough in Italy. We do suffer a lot from losing talents from the academy to the first team. This is something that is shown by our national team results, because we are a national movement made by old players, while the young have a lot of difficulties make that transition from the under 20 to the first team. And then, having said that, it's first team integration. Once you have decided that the player is talented enough to potentially become a first team player, you cannot miss the following step, because it's easy to say, okay, he's talented enough, he's good enough, let's go on. No, you have to set yourself steps that you have to follow. Otherwise, you run the risk to ruin the player's talents. And in order to do that, we say, okay, he's ready enough to compete. Okay, he's environmental enough. He can follow the rules. He can stay in a first team, in a seniors team locker room. Competitive readiness. Is ready to compete. He can show up in training room in training session and not decrease the level of our training. And then a strategic decision. What we will do with this player. We can keep it and let the, let's say, put him into the first team. We can sell him. We can put him on loan. What are we gonna do? And of course, we expect outputs from this model, because, has Empoli shown, is it possible? Is it possible with limited funds? And in order to do that, we gotta, as I said, I know that I keep saying this, but following our guidelines. Because at the end of the day, guys, nothing is successful by day one. You will encounter a lot of struggle. You will be surrounded by doubts. But if you have something that drives you, if you have something that leads you, you will go through. You will go through. And again, this is something that hopefully we will be able to do it in the following season, and we'll see how we do. So thanks for your attention, and
Edvard, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your experience and expertise. I heard something, rumor about you. Yeah. Do you know Serbian a bit? But to say it, so does anybody has a question for our speaker? Can you say it in Serbian maybe?
Ne znam.
Okay, did you wake up already? Do you have a question for our speaker? Okay, we do have one question from behind.
My friend, please be kind.
Be gentle.
Hey, my friend. Good morning. We all know that, of course, in Italy and Serie A, it's very difficult for the young guys to get chances. So we spoke yesterday about the player. I see he's on number one on potential. What do you think, or how do you feel he will get the chances in Serie A? Because it's quite known that it's a very old competition. So I wonder how you will deal with this now, because it's going to be a very challenging season, of course.
100%. Couldn't agree more. It's tough. It's tough because we think that in that case, in the case of Alvin Okoro, he's referring to our 2005 players that this season has been sent to a second division club on loan, and he did very good. He performed very, very good. And right now he's in consideration to be part of next season team. But at the same time, it's very, very hard to decide, okay, let's include him in our roster, but how many minutes he can play? Because at this phase of his development, he must have minutes. So it will be a very, very strategic decision by saying, okay, will he stay? Will he get minutes enough or not? And if he leaves, if we decide that he's leaving, where he lives? Like, where we can send him. We're sending him alone. We do not trust him enough to be part of our team in the following season, so we decided to sell him. It's hard. It's hard because every player, it's a project. It's an individual project. So you cannot miss the right step. You cannot miss the next step, which is the most important one. So I know that I'm not answering you because I can't. I know the answer, but I won't tell you. But it's tough. It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. So it's always a work in progress.
It's a general problem in Italy.
It is. It's a huge
that
problem.
You see with the national team, so
it's a huge problem. Like we just said it. It's something that, I think that comes from the culture of our country. We are an old country, a very old country. We do not have at the highest level of clubs management, young people, at the highest level of politics, young people. So it's tough. It's tough to progress in that sense. But I think watching the results that we are having, we must do something. Otherwise, it will be a mess. Like, we are not playing national World Cup since I don't know when. I was like a baby. So you can imagine that it's impossible to keep going what we're doing because we are missing it.
Thank you. Are we done with the questions? There are two more questions, actually.
Hey, really enjoyed the presentation, and thanks for sharing. I wanted to ask a little bit about how you're going to transition over into Serie A. Of course, great season last year. Last time you were in Serie A, I guess the style of play was a little bit different. You've had a very specific style of play this season. Is there a plan to change it to a more conservative style, less high pressing, or you're going to go for it and, I guess, continue to recruit for what you've done best? And
100% stick to the plan. Like, when the sport director decided to appoint Giovanni Stroppa, our head coach, he knew exactly what Giovanni wants to do. So he knew exactly what playing style he wants to play, and this is exactly the playing style we want to play. So we won't change it in Serie A. Of course, it will be tougher. The level we raise up will be sky high because it's very, very tough to impose your will over Inter, over AC Milan, and so on. But stick to the plan. So the exact things that I showed in the presentation, exactly the things that we want to do out of possession, in possession, that kind of football that we feel comfortable playing with, is the football that we will try to play in Serie A. And from that, we will recruit players that, again, will fit that system.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And one last question.
Good morning to everybody. This is Fahad from Saudi Arabia. Thank you for your presentation. My question is, yesterday and today we keep hearing that producing or developing the talent player from the youth until they reach to the first team, then start selling them to the other clubs in order to keep the sustainable financial stage to continue the club. So we noticed recently most of the bigger clubs who used to buy a talent player from other clubs, they start investing in their academies. And do you think within coming years they will stop buying players from other clubs and who needs the money to sustain their financial stage? And what will be the mitigation plan from your experience if those clubs they reduce their selling player, or they start getting benefit from their investment in their academy?
Very good question, to be honest with you. You touched a lot of points that we feel are crucial for us. Financial sustainability, it's super inflated rules. It's a super inflated words, sorry. But it's compulsory to have it because now on, like, football clubs are owned by bigger companies, bigger investment funds, and so on, and they treat you like true company. So they do not like to lose money, and in order to not lose money, you gotta be financially sustainable, which we know is so tough in football. But it's a long path toward financial sustainability, and mitigate the risk of cut yourself in debt. But it's a lot of things, it's a lot of factors that you must put into consideration and put in order to become financially sustainable. So it's not just the sporting results, because the sports result, of course, will drive interest, will drive attractiveness, will drive investment, but it's also how you manage the club. So you touched on the fact that we will try to everybody's trying to acquire young players in order to player trade them and get revenues from it. It's exactly what we are trying to do. It's exactly what everybody's trying to do. You probably heard the news of us selling Dumbia to Sporting Lisbon for 26 millions. We bought him from a third division club in Italy for 1 million. After 1 season and a half, he became a Champions League player, and we sold him for 26. Did we want to sell him? No, not at all. We want him to stay. But 26 million, it's something that you cannot decline. It's something that you cannot overcome. So, you know, you gotta find that balance between, okay, we want sporting results, at the same time we want financial sustainability, and it's tough, man. It's tough. Good question, though.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ricardo. Edward has a present for you. And we are looking forward to watch Venezia in Serie A in upcoming season. So good luck to you guys.